Those of you that don't want to work with the note at all, we do have some REO properties. You can click on REO, or you can look on mortgage notes, or you can just leave it on all. You can also search by address, a state. The other day I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and so I just plugged in North Carolina to show me everything in my state, right? So let me share my screen on preREO, and we'll show you how to walk through here, and we'll pick out a couple deals, and we'll just get the expert opinion on what to do here. So you're seeing when we come in here, those of you that don't want to work with the note at all, we do have some REO properties. You can click on REO, or you can look on mortgage notes, or you can just leave it on all. You can also search by address, a state. The other day I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and so I just plugged in North Carolina to show me everything in my state, right? You could do this based on where foreclosures go a little faster, or where property values are a little higher. For instance, in certain states, obviously property value is a little higher, perhaps. And so you could do a wide variety of things. But let's just look at mortgage notes in general, and let's just click all. We'll see what comes up here, and we'll pick out a few. Now, when you look at these, most of these are non-performing, meaning that they're in default at one stage or another. As George just said, they may not be in foreclosure yet. They might have just missed a few payments and not have actually filed the foreclosure, suit yet. Or most of them are in some stage of foreclosure, meaning the process has already started. And so as we take a look at these, now there's some bigger deals, there's some smaller deals. We just showed one that was in, just a few $1,000s. Here's one that's, if somebody has an appetite for, something large, let's take a look at this one in Brooklyn, New York. And as you said, New York's, got some, whoops, I got to log in here, as you will have to, but there we go. So let's take a look at this one, George. New York's, got a little bit of issues with length of time on foreclosure, but that just factors into where we're at. This one has opportunity to, there's some value here. So tell us about this one.
Yeah, a lot of value. This is a very nice home in Brooklyn, New York. It's in the early stages of foreclosure, and they owe 2.4. And you'll see this. You'll see, especially with the run-up in equity over the last run-up of appreciation over the last few years, you'll see homes where the value of the home is significantly more than the amount of the debt. In this case, it's almost more than $1 million more, and as opposed to 10 years ago in the last housing crisis, many families, the amount that they owed on their mortgage exceeded the property value of their home. And you'll still see several instances of that, but you'll see a decent percentage of families who have equity and are behind on their payments and at risk of foreclosure. Now, the good news on there, and I know I'm painting a global picture, but it's pertinent here, is this family, if they can't find a solution, the logical thing to do is to sell that property, $3.4 million, pay off the debt of $2.4 million, and they can walk away with money. And we see that all the time. Since this run-up in appreciation, a lot of families that get into trouble simply sell the home and walk away with money, which is a good outcome for everybody. The loan gets paid off and they get out of trouble. So you'll see that. So that's the instance here. So that you can see the suggested price. You can buy this mortgage roughly $2.234 million, values 3.4. Total debt, 2.482. So hey, that discounts, you may be thinking that discount, even though it's $250,000, this is a big loan, that seems modest. It's only 10%. Why isn't it a greater discount? Here is why. Every day that goes by, the interest that accrues on that total debt will continue to accrue and be added to the debt, but there's equity to protect it, which means in all likelihood, it will be recovered, as well as any foreclosure fees, any property taxes or advanced on behalf of the borrower can be added to the total amount. And eventually, if the homeowner pays it off, they get paid. If they modify it, you can capitalize it. So it's part of that repayment plan. If it gets foreclosed upon, it could be added to the total bid. So all those are potential outcomes when there's equity. When there's no equity, then typically the discount's greater. If these numbers, well, let me just use easy numbers. If they owed $200,000 on a home that was only worth $100,000, then the discount would be significantly greater, probably 25% instead of 10%.